Hey, two viewers, TJ Pyramid here. This is a video response to my good friend on here, Falagar, also known as Sammy. Uh, Video called Horror 11 or 11 Horror, some kind of jazz like that, where basically you pick 11 horror films. They can't be like Anchor Bay or Scream Factory or Arrow, um, but just, I guess, kind of underrated or obscure or rare horror films that maybe others haven't heard of, and or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. So I just picked films that I think uh, I kind of went with the underrated ones, and then just a couple that I think everybody should see or at least own. So, and it couldn't be Blu-rays or anything like that, so that's no problem. I mean, both shelves behind me are covered in horror, so I mean, DVD horror, no problem. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off with ones most of you, one most of you may have heard of. This is easily one of my favorite vampire films of all time, and I think it is criminally underrated. I think it needs to have a re-release of some sort. But yeah, it needs something. It needs to be shown some love. That's Innocent Blood. Just absolutely a fantastic, sexy, erotic, bloody, vein-rippingly good time. Very, very underrated. Next up here, Psychomania, also known as Death Wheelers, I believe. Really, really cool film. But a motorcycle gang, you can see their sweet masks they wear on their helmets there. Basically, they commit suicide in some really cool ways and come back as like zombie bikers that terrorize people. So I mean, come on. Awesome, awesome film. Check out Psychomania. Next up here, Eddie the Sleepwalking Cannibal. You have an artist who gets his inspiration from all kinds of carnage, blood, guts, limbs, whatever. He settles in a little town and he meets Eddie, a big mute man who sleepwalks. But when he sleepwalks, this big guy, Eddie, basically turns into a ravenous nocturnal cannibal with a serious craving for fresh meat. Really fun. Nice splattery, slapsticky type stuff. Next up, if you're a fan of like the stuff and street trash and 80s splattery, gooey, gory, messy type horror films, check out Mold. This cover does not do this justice. It makes it look like a serious type horror film, but it is far from serious. All the effects, I believe, in this are completely practical. Just super, super fun. Just a fantastic throwback to Street Trash and all of them. Just fantastic. Absolutely love this film. This is Wild Eye releasing right here. So yeah, check out Mold if you like those throwback 80s splattery films. Fantastic. Another film here that I would love to see a sequel to. This movie has really, really fantastic kills, really memorable ones. So many films have, kills that when the film's done, you try to remember the ones that stand out, and some of them just, fall flat. But almost every kill in this is awesome. I love the main character in this, the killer. I think he has a fantastic backstory. I'd love to know more about it here. That's Ross Noble as Stitches. Bad Clown. This is really fantastic. I picked this up when our Blockbuster was closing for like $1 or something like that, and really didn't know much about it, except it was Dark Sky Films. They usually do some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I picked it up and watched it, and it really became one of my favorite movies that I had seen that year. So check out Stitches. Next up here, Feed. This movie here, basically, you have the fetish of guys who like to feed their women to become extremely morbidly, gigantically obese. There's some really good, gross, nasty effects in this, and it's just a overall creepy film. It makes you feel dirty. Next up here, I'm a big fan of Brad Anderson. I love the stuff he does, and I think this is another underrated film. There's a few plot things that, if you look too hard, kind of fall through a little bit, but overall, I just think this is a really solid, spooky little film. I like the dark. I like shadows because you never know what's in them, and this is just really a fun film, Vanishing on 7th Street. I am by no means a fan of anybody in this movie. Hayden Christensen, Tandy Newton, John Leguizamo. I could take any of those actors, take them or leave them, I don't care. But in this film, they all work cohesively to make this a fantastic watch. I love this movie. Probably my favorite Brad Anderson film, actually. Really fun. This is adapted from a book. Also, a super fantastic book. If you've never read the book, you should look it up. It's by Tony Burgess. That's Pontypool. Basically, words turn you into a blood-craving, lunatic maniac, rage-filled zombie type thing. Stephen McHattie is just absolutely fabulous in this. But it's just he's a radio DJ and he can hear things going on, and there's just all kinds of crazy stuff in this film. But I really, really like Pontypool. Hell's Ground. This is from Pakistan, where you don't get a lot of horror-related films. Yeah, you got this crazy-ass thing right here, if you can see it, chasing you in this film. Plus, there's zombies in this, and this is really Pakistan's first splatter, slaughtery type movie. The guy who made this actually funded most of this movie through his ice cream store that he runs. Um, so yeah, most of the funds were made through ice cream. Bloody, bloody ice cream. This is a really, really good film, though. Nice gore, nice effects, really well done. Actually, hope to see more from the director of this film. I'd try to pronounce his name, but I would just mess it up. So Google Hell's Ground and check it out. Fantastic. Plague a Zombie Mutant Zone. Actually, there's two films on here. There's Plague a Zombie and there's the sequel, Plague a Zombie Mutant Zone. Plague a Zombie is super low budget in the style. If you like Evil Dead, Dead Alive, you're going to love both of the films on this set. I've talked about this before in other videos here, but you have three guys who made this film. Berta Munez, Pablo Perez, and Hernan Saez, I believe, are the three main people in this here. In the movie, one's a pro wrestler, one's a medical student, and one's a computer nerd, and they basically have to defend their city from zombies. The first movie is really super low budget, like filmed on VHS, put from one VCR to the next VCR for editing back and forth. Really crazy. The second one, Mutant Zone, they had a little bit more of a budget. The effects are a lot better, but super splattery, super gory. Absolutely love this film. Anybody who's a fan of splattery type films should definitely check this out. And like I said, if you're a fan of Evil Dead, Dead Alive, anything like that, you need to see Plague a Zombie, and you need to see Plague a Zombie Mutant Zone. Really nice double feature there. Really cheap too. Really cheap price. Not cheaply made. Well, cheaply made and cheaply priced, which double good. And last up here, this is by Julian Moray and Alexandra Bustillo. Both their names I probably butchered. But they're the guys behind Inside, which is a fantastic film. And this is Livid. This is a take... I would say this... I would categorize this as like a I would say a vampire film mixed with a supernatural, but there's definitely elements of ghosty, supernatural type stuff and vampires. It's pretty cool, just as it says on the back. A unique spin on the vampire myth. Really creepy, but really well acted, really well directed. Absolutely love this film. Uh, so check out Livid if you have not seen it. I don't think it has a North American release, and it probably never will. So you're going to have to order it from Amazon UK or some such like that. But it is well worth hunting down and well worth watching, especially if you're a fan of the guys who made it, like I am. So there we go. I think that was 11 films. I vaguely counted. So subscribe to Falagar. Fantastic guy. Leaves great comments. Does great videos. As for me, comment, subscribe, spread the word, and cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.